I have removed every single captain from the NHL. No, your eyes do not deceive you. That is the 25-goal man, Zachary Hyman, with the captaincy on the Edmonton Oilers. He's the new captain of the team now that Connor McDavid is gone. Just like every other captain across the league, that is exactly what I've done, boys. I went through every single team, and if you're wearing the C, you are now playing in Europe. You're shipped out of the major leagues. You're no longer good enough for the NHL, and we're basically going to see which teams benefit the most from this and which teams get hurt the most by this. In the latter half of that question, I think we already know the answer, as the Edmonton Oilers are going to be losing Connor freaking McDavid, and pretty much every single team is going to have to rename a new captain in hopes that they can lead them to a Stanley Cup. So at the end of the first season, the Rangers are going to be the best team in the NHL. This is a growing theme in all my videos here, as the Rangers just simulate so well, even removing Jacob Trouba, who I mean isn't the biggest addition or downgrade. Even after losing Jacob Trouba, who I mean isn't the biggest loss in the world, they're still going to dominate. 54 wins. Tampa Bay also had 54. Detroit was up there with 50. Winnipeg, Florida, Columbus, Minnesota at the bottom. We have the Montreal Canadiens, who did lose Nick Suzuki. I'm surprised the Oilers were not down here. St. Louis was bad. Philly, Anaheim, Nashville, pretty much the same teams. Of course, not every team in the NHL has a captain, so some teams I didn't even touch. David Pastrnak is absolutely going to tear up, leading skaters in scoring with 118 points, followed by Jack Hughes' 112. Kucherov had 108. Johnny Hockey 104. I mean, he's never going to do this again in real life. Dude is straight trash this season. Matthews had 99. Kaprizov was up there. Kyle Connor, the Winnipeg Jets, who are first in the NHL at the moment. Nylander, who just got paid $11.5 million, has 98. Now for the goal side, Kyle Connor is going to lead with 59, followed by Matthews 57. Kucherov at 55. Brinkett and Line have 47. Kaprizov was up there. Cole Caulfield. Now for defensemen, I had to remove some of the best defensemen in the game, but Cale Makar not a captain, so he's still here, leading with 23 goals and 92 points. Josh Morrissey had 81. Charlie McAvoy 79. Carlson 71. Vasi's going to have the most wins by a goalie with 46. Hellebuck at 45. Shesterkin 44 for the shutout side. Whereas Lincoln's is going to lead with 9. Vasi had 7. Hellebuck 5. Shesterkin 5. And here's our playoff matchups in year number 1. Surprisingly, the Oilers actually made it without Connor McDavid, and again, they're up against the LA Kings for the 3rd year in a row. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a very weird matchup between the Rangers and the Seattle Kraken. I mean, the Rangers I did think would be here. Seattle, definitely not. But let's see who's going to go on and win the Stanley Cup at the end of season number 1. And absolutely no surprise here, as the Rangers are going to take home the Stanley Cup at the end of year number 1, as they beat Seattle in 6 games. They were up 3-1. I thought for a minute Seattle was going to force a Game 7, but it's just not meant to be, as the Rangers, they might be the best team in NHL 24. I used to think it was Tampa Bay, but I don't even know. The Rangers sim so well. They sim as well, if not better, than Tampa Bay. I mean, they lost Tarasenko and Kane in the offseason. They still simulate very well. Blake Wheeler is going to win the Conn Smythe, 14 goals and 24 points. Maybe we'll have to do a video in the future where we battle it out between the Rangers and the Lightning to see who is the greatest team of all time. But for right now, and there is their assistant captain, and Adam Fox lifting it for the Rangers here in year number 1, as obviously they lost Jacob Trouba, but he's the next guy in line. Now for the playoffs, Matty Beniers is going to lead the NHL in goal scoring with 15 goals, but also points with 24. He would tie Blake Wheeler, who did end up winning the Conn Smythe. Tage Thompson at 23, Tolavainen 21, Schwartz 21, Eberle 20. I mean, Seattle, they had a Cinderella playoff run that just could not get it done in the end over the greatest team of all time in the New York Rangers. The Rangers are just tough to beat, man. They are very tough to beat. Now the Ted Lindsay, the Art Ross, and Hart Trophy are going to go to Pasta, the Maurice Richard to Kyle Connor, the Norris to Cale Makar, the Calder obviously to Bedsy, the Conn Smythe to Wheeler, the Vezina to Andrei Vasilevsky, and the Selke will go to Nathan McKinnon. So the Vegas Golden Knights are going to end up having a great season, as they are first in the NHL as they win 55 games here in year number 2. Detroit was also very good. Colorado was up there. Tampa Bay. Edmonton won 45 games without McDavid, finishing top 5 in the NHL. Of course, the Rangers, the defending champs, and the greatest team of all time. Now at the bottom of the NHL, we have the Philadelphia Flyers, who literally Cutter Gauthier just didn't want to play there and got traded for Jamie Drysdale literally last night. The entire Flyers organization, Torts, their GM, everybody's just straight up bashing him. And I mean, I guess so. I mean, who would want to play for Torts, honestly? But Johnny Hockey's going to end up leading all skaters in points with 107, followed by Pedersen's 105, who's going to get a bag in the offseason. Robo had 104. Asta 101. Marner was up there at 98. Laine 96, man. Patrick Laine could have been a great player. Whatever happened to this guy? Matthews at 95. Nylander 93. Kucherov was up there for the goals side. Austin Matthews will lead with 63, followed by Kucherov's 55. Robo had 50, passed to 49. Laine, of course, was up there. Bedard had 42, so it's a slight step back from his rookie season. For defenseman, Erik Karlsson's going to lead with 83 points, followed by Adam Fox at 76. McAvoy had 75. Where the hell? Cale Makar only had 17 goals and 64 points. Aiden Hill is going to have the most wins by a goalie with 40, followed by Kemper's 35. Vanacek at 35. Gibson 34 on the shutout side. UC Saros and Capo Kakinen will lead with 7 shutouts apiece, followed by Vanacek 6. Reimer had 5. And here is our playoff matchups in year number 2. We do have the Battle of Alberta, so that should be a very good series. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a matchup between the Red Wings and the Vegas Golden Knights. They've never met, obviously, in the finals. Vegas is a very new team. Vegas did lose Mark Stone, and the Red Wings did lose Dylan Larkin, but they do have Patrick Kane, who simulates way better than him, so too surprised to see them here. Let's see who's going to go on and win the Stanley Cup here in year number 2. And the Vegas Golden Knights are going to absolutely dominate the Red Wings in the finals in 4 games, a clean sweep, and they're going to win it here in Detroit. Hopefully none of the players do get shot after the games. We know the crime rate in Detroit's absolutely atrocious, but Vegas is going to get it done even without their captain, Mark Stone, as they still have a pretty good roster. He is probably their second or third best player. I'm going to say second. Only Jack Eichel's better than Mark Stone on the Vegas Golden Knights, but it looks like they did not need him, as Jack Eichel is going to win the Conn Smythe. 9 goals, 21 points. As here comes the new captain, number 27, Shea Theodore was elected captain for the Vegas Golden Knights. They moved on from Mark Stone real fast, as Vegas is going to take home the Stanley Cup at the end of season number 2. Now for the playoffs, Patrick Kane is going to lead all skaters in points with 24. I mean, that's really not a surprise. He's a 96, 97 overall, even though he's only an 89. Alex DeBrincat had 21. Jack Eichel, of course, 21. Marchessault had 20. Fabry had 17. Elias Pettersson is going to take on the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, while the Art Ross to Johnny Hockey and Maurice Richard to Matthews. The Norris is going to go to Erik Karlsson. The Conn Smythe, of course, to Eichel. Aiden Hill is going to win the Vezina, and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly. The end of season number 3, somehow the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to finish as the best team, winning 51 games. Tampa Bay also won 51, but Columbus had 11 OT losses. Toronto was up there with 51 wins. Detroit again had 50, despite the fact that they don't have their captain. Winnipeg, Boston, Colorado. At the bottom of the NHL, we have Chicago, Washington, St. Louis, San Jose was down there, Philly, Nashville. Austin Matthews is going to go ahead and lead the entire league in goal scoring with 56 goals and points with 106, followed by Nylander's 105. Patrick Kane had 101. Jack Hughes 100. Was a -1 though. Kucherov was up there past him. Marner, Draisaitl, Johnny Hockey still simulating very well, even though he's only an 87 overall. Now on the goal side, other than Matthews, Kucherov at 54, McKinnon 48, Pasta 46, Bedard was up there 46, Kane 44, Kyle Connor was up there, Draisaitl as well. Now for defensemen, Erik Karlsson will lead 20 goals and 93 points, but Dougie Hamilton, a sneakily Norris Trophy season, 30 goals and 83 points as a defenseman is absolutely nuts. Samsonov somehow is going to lead all goalies and wins with 43. Poor Samsonov, man. Down in the minors now, he's got the Jack Campbell treatment. Whereas Lincoln's have 40, Hellebuck 37, Skinner 37. Now for the shutout side, Swayman's going to lead with 6. Actually, him and Hellebuck were tied, each at 6. And here we go yet again. This is our playoff bracket for year number 3. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have a all-Canadian matchup between the Winnipeg Jets and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, the good news is at least the Canadian team will go on and win the Stanley Cup, but which one will it be? Will it be the Jets losing Adam Lowry or Toronto losing John Tavares? Who's going to go on and win the Stanley Cup here in year number 3? And they are going to do it. They are finally going to do it after over 50 years of no Stanley Cups. Toronto is going to get it done over the Winnipeg Jets as they pretty much dominate them in the finals in 5 games. For Winnipeg, you're going to have to witness the Toronto Maple Leafs of all teams lift the Stanley Cup on your home ice. I mean, mean, the good news is you guys did make it all the way here, had a very good playoff run, didn't get the job done, but that's okay. I mean, only one team can win the Stanley Cup, and there it is, Matthews, the Conn Smythe winner, 17 goals, 33 points, as Toronto is actually exceeding expectations. I mean, they did lose John Tavares, which isn't the biggest loss in the world. He is their captain, but he's not as good as he used to be, and now they're going to get rewarded with the Stanley Cup as they have won it all here in year number 4. Here comes their captain, or assistant captain, I should say. Actually, no, new captain, Mitchell Marner, not Austin Matthews. He's going to be wearing the C, good old Toronto boy, as the Leafs are going to win it all here in year number 4, and Mitch Marner is going to take home that Stanley Cup. Now for the playoffs, Kyle Connor is going to lead in points with 35. Jesus, Matthews had 33, Ehlers 31, Morrissey had 29, even though he only had 1 goal. William Nylander is going to end up taking home the Ted Lindsay and the Hart Trophy, while the Art Ross and Maurice Richard is going to go to Matthews, the Norris to Victor Hedman, the Conn Smythe, of course, also to Matthews, the Vezina will go to Merz Lincolns on Columbus, and the Selke will go to Sean Couturier. So at the end of the 4th season here in NHL 24, Boston's going to be the best team, winning 50 games, followed by the Rangers, who were up there. Detroit has been good basically the entire video. Carolina was good. Anaheim, Seattle, who didn't lose a single player, Colorado, Vancouver. At the bottom, we have the San Jose Sharks, so I mean, I'm not very surprised to see them down here. Los Angeles was bad, and the Oilers have finally cooled off as they only won 37 games without Connor McDavid. They probably don't even win that in real life. I'd say they're around a 10 to 15 win team without McDavid, if I'm being honest. Nikita Kucherov's going to lead all skaters in scoring with 112 points, followed by passes, 108. Braden Point had 99. Pettersson was up there. McKinnon. Buchnevich somehow had 96. Robo and Alex DeBrincat with 92, which I believe would be a career high. For the goal side, passes going to have the most with 60, followed by Kaprizov's 56. Kucherov 53. Jeff Skinner had 49. DeBrincat had 48. Matthews, of course, was up there. Jason Robertson. Line A had 42. Cale Makar is going to lead for all D-man in points with 89. John Carlson at 79. Adam Fox 76. Josh Morrissey 74. For goalies, Vasi's going to lead in wins with 40. Binnington had 38. Gibson 38. Husso 38. Now on the shutout side, Darcy Kemper's going to lead with 8. On the Washington Capitals, Vasi had 6. Gibson 5. Cam Talbot 5. Binnington 5. And here is our year number 4 playoff matchups. Let's go on and see who makes the Stanley Cup Finals. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, yet again, we have the New York Rangers, but this time they're up against the Vancouver Canucks. Yes, somehow Vancouver made it all the way here. I mean, they're doing pretty good in real life, but the last time they made the Stanley Cup Final in 2011, it didn't go very well. There were actually riots in Vancouver, so hopefully that does not happen this time. Let's see who's going to go on and go home with the Stanley Cup at the end of season number 4. And the Vancouver Canucks are going to do it. They are going to break their team's curse and win their very first Stanley Cup in franchise history, as they do beat the Rangers in 5 games in the Stanley Cup Finals. They pretty much blew them out, and they're going to win it here in Madison Square Garden, the most famous arena in all of sports. Vancouver's not going to have a riot this year in 2024. It's actually going to be a celebration instead. Play in the goddamn parade. Don't play in the riots, but play in that parade. As Andrei Kuzmenko is going to win the Conn Smythe, 10 goals and 23 points for the kid. I thought maybe Pettersson would win it, even a guy like Brock Besser. Obviously, they lost Quinn Hughes, who's one of the best defensemen in the NHL, definitely top 3 at the moment. And here comes their assistant captain, JT Miller, who's kind of known to be a locker room cancer, but maybe not, as he's going to wear an A. And not only that, but he's going to be the first person to come lift the Stanley Cup for the Vancouver Canucks, as they have done it here in year number 4. Now for the playoffs, Artemi Panarin is going to lead in points with 30, followed by Kuznetsov's 25. Zibanejad had 25, also 12 goals. JT Miller was up there. Wilson at 24, Kuzmenko 23, Max Pacioretty, who actually just returned in real life and got a point. Kucherov is going to win the Ted Lindsay, Art Ross, and Hart Trophy. The Maurice Richard's going to go to Pasta. The Norris to Cale Makar. The Calder will go to Leo Carlson. The Conn Smythe to Kuzmenko. The Vezina to Casey DeSmith, who is on Vancouver. Not even Thatcher Demko. So at the end of the final season, the Winnipeg Jets are going to end up being the best team in the NHL, as they won 54 games, followed by Tampa Bay was up there, Florida, Buffalo. The Oilers won 56, so they have been basically up and down the entire simulation. Detroit has been good. Colorado now at the bottom. We have Calgary, who's only won 26 games on the season, tying the St. Louis Blues. Nikita Kucherov's going to lead all skaters in not only goal scoring with 53, but points with 125. Next closest was Leon Draisaitl with 111. Braden Point had 103. McKinnon 101. Matthews is up there. Johnny Hockey had a good simulation. I mean, I don't know why this guy simulates so well at an 87 overall, putting up 94 points, and he's been pretty consistent. Now for goals, other than Kucherov, Kaprizov's going to have the most at 52. Matthews had 52. Laine had 50, a 50-goal season. I believe his first. He's never had one, right? Yeah, definitely his highest was 44 in his second season in the NHL. Now defensively, Makar is going to have the most at 79, followed by Morrissey, 75. Carlson at 73. Heiskanen, 72. Connor Hellebuck and Andrei Vasilevsky are each going to tie at 43 wins for the lead and all goaltenders. Ville Husso at 37, Skinner 37, and for shutouts, it's going to be Vasi with 7. Merzlikins also had 7, Allmark 6, Husso 6. And in the Stanley Cup Finals, we have the Boston Bruins up against the Dallas Stars, two new teams that have not made it any part throughout the video. Dallas, of course, they only lost Jamie Benn, so it doesn't hurt that much. Boston, on the other hand, did lose Brad Marchand, who is one of their better forwards. Let's see who's going to go home with the Stanley Cup in the 5th and final season of the video. And the Dallas Stars are pretty much going to dominate the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals in 5 games. It was not really that close. We're pretty much by far the better team. Boston, I mean, they did have a bigger loss to their team in Brad Marchand compared to Jamie Benn, who used to be good, a former Art Ross winner, but right now, I believe he's only like an 85 overall. Their best players are Robertson, Heiskanen. Even a guy like Joe Pavelski's better than Jamie Benn at this point in their careers. Boston did lose Brad Marchand, like a 90-point score. Roope Hintz is going to win the Conn Smythe, 7 goals and 28 points, as they're going to lift it high here in Boston. Wow, actually, I forgot. Tyler Seguin's going to get his revenge over Boston, lifting the cup here in TD Garden after being traded to Dallas from Boston. Here's their new captain, Jason Robertson, coming to collect the Stanley Cup for Dallas, as they have gone all the way here in the 5th and final season. Now for the playoffs, Roope Hintz is going to lead in scoring with 28 points, followed by Pavelski's 24. Pasta had 23, also 10 goals. Damn, Joe Pavelski had 15 goals. Why, Johnston had 21, Kaprizov 20, McAvoy 19. Nikita Kucherov's going to take home pretty much all the awards. The Norris to Josh Morrissey, obviously the Conn Smythe to Roope Hintz, the Vezina to Hellebuck, and the Selke will go to Ryan O'Reilly yet again. And that is going to do it for this video, boys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single live stream or video that I put out on the channel. And basically, yeah, we went ahead and we took away every single captain from their teams here in NHL 24, and the results, I mean, they were back and forth. The Rangers, of course, are always going to be good, but outside of that, we had some new Stanley Cup winners, which is good. I would like to say thank you all for watching, and until next time, don't be silly. Rappy Willie.